What is up? What is up? Hey. This is the No I Don't Know TV series. Got a little bit of music playing in the background. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. We are back and we are black. And we are here. What is going on? What is going on? Turn this shit down. Man. Let's just get right into it. Hey, you already know I'm gonna hit y'all with it. Did Jesus come back today? So let's just get right into it. Did he come back? Did y'all scream and shout and what's a good song? Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I know that's what y'all singing at church. I know all about that shit. You know, and testifying and basically test a lying ass niggas. Man, I already know what is going on. But anyway, after y'all figured out that Jesus was not coming back today, you know, y'all can holler at me later on because I do got his pager number. And I got his two-way number too. He don't like using cell phones because, you know, with the smartphones, Jesus don't like to be tracked. So he rather just use a flip phone or a two-way. You know, he told me, hit me up on a two-way, hit me on a two-way tonight. Oh, my bad. That ain't Jesus. That's genuine. My bad. But anyway, yes, this is another day, another dollar. Not for melanated people, another 10 cents for y'all. A fractional share for y'all niggas. But anyway, I'm your boy Warren G, and the place to be. Been clown and sucker free since 2003. But anyway, let's speed up all the way to today. We've already talked about a lot of this situation. I see some things. I haven't really been watching a lot of YouTube videos on this situation, but if you go back and check the podcast that I did about a week ago, I was already on AMBERGUYGER. I was already on that broad. I already know what she on. Let me tell you, she's on white fragility. I didn't know I was in the wrong apartment. I don't know what's going on. I would take it all back if I could just trade with him. Then go ahead and plead guilty. If they gave you 10 years, then why don't you ask the judge, can you give me 20 years? Because this is what I deserve. And both them, John or whatever, his family, man, that's a lot of cooning. See, I like what Eric Gardner's wife said. Eric Gardner's wife was like, no, I do not accept his apology. And no, I don't care about all that shit. See, that's how we got to start being. We got to stop being these type of people. Why do we always have to be the merciful ones and the most forgiving when the last 450 years we've been the ones going through the hell? So I don't understand that. Me, I feel like it's a lot of dog whistling and it's a lot of take care of us, take care of our family because, you know, and it's so sad because getting right into it, Joshua Brown, what an incredible witness. And for him to be taken away like that, that was orchestrated to me. And RIP to him. I was reading this article on what's the Ocasio-Cortez. See, everybody trying to jump on this. Now, I'm reading her Twitter. She says, just when we caught a glimpse of justice for Botham Jean, much of it feels stolen back with the murder of Joshua Brown and key witness in the case. My heart breaks for his family. You're a politician, so you don't give a fuck about what's going on with Joshua Brown's family. Because if you really care, then why don't you fly to where his family is, pay for the funeral service, and hire a private investigator to find out exactly how he was murdered? Since you want to get to the bottom of it, these people don't want to get to the bottom of it. This is all theater. Now, let me tell you straight up. To me, I think that's imagery of, and this goes out to all you other niggas that want to testify against the Fraternal Order of Police. We will kill you. That's basically what they're saying. That's my translation. Our violence will be done to you, which means people will not speak out on injustices and they'll be afraid for their lives because look at what happened to Joshua Brown. Now, I watched his testimony. You could tell he was sad. It probably scared him. You know, he just met the brother. He never seen that girl before, but she pacing back and forth. So he probably don't know what the hell's going on. And the whole time, see, let me tell you this. The whole time, that European Caucasian woman was trying to figure out a way of how she was going to deflect and get off. Because she wanted to kill him. Please believe you me. I think that they was fucking. I think it was more to it that nobody wanted to touch that part of it. But I think that's what was going on. I think a lot of it, too, is we don't want to look behind everything that's going on. We just, oh, good, she got 10 years. No, she should have got 25 to life. That was premeditated murder. You don't go in somebody else's. I bet you if my black ass went in the wrong apartment and it was a white woman and I shot her twice and I'd be like, oh, I thought she was intruding. I thought she was in the, I thought she was intruding. And they'd be like, nigga, you in the wrong apartment. I didn't know I was in the wrong apartment. Guilty, nigga. No. You're guilty, nigga. No, I don't even want to hear you. You're guilty. That's what they would be saying. But for her to use white privilege, which a lot of individuals, a lot of Caucasians, they suffer from, to me, they suffer from the neglect of having the power of using white privilege. I think a lot of people act like it doesn't matter, doesn't exist. That's why when you watch the Chelsea Handler documentary, she talks and touches on a subject of race. And she sat down with these Republican women and they were like, oh my God, we've come so far. We got Obama. How many times have y'all heard me say that? They be thinking like, oh, you got Obama. You shouldn't be worried about, race doesn't exist. Right. If race doesn't exist, why is there no melanated person that owns a major Fortune 500 company that's a mover and shaker that could say whatever he damn well wants to say? That doesn't exist. 1, 2, look at what they're doing with Byron Allen. Now he's got to sue Comcast and all this other stuff because they don't like Byron Allen. That's why. Because Byron Allen got in there and played that game with him. And then before you know it, Byron Allen's a damn near billionaire. And they're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? How you own the Weather Channel? And that's what happens. So Amber Guyger, I didn't fall for the crying and the judge giving her a hug and all. That stuff is all theater to me. I'm more focused on Joshua Brown because I think these are things that melanated people need to start figuring out. Hey, what's going on? That should wake every melanated person up. Every melanated person needs to wake up and see what's going on. And they need to understand that this is serious business. This isn't like, I think, this is my personal opinion. I think it's all, to me, it's all relative because to me, it's all related. And the reason why I say that is because even when you watch Joshua Brown's testimony, it was very compelling and it was emotional because I'm pretty sure he probably was like, damn, that could have been me. But think about it. She didn't just randomly go into, you knew which apartment you was going in. Just off that, she should have been guilty. You knew which apartment you was going in. Why don't y'all ask Amir Muhammad or whatever his name is? No, wait, Mohammed Noor, the melanated brother who shot and killed that Australian lady, and they settled for like $20 million, and he was found guilty. You're a guilty nigger, and you're gonna pay, nigger. That's translation. But when it comes to Amber Guyger, it's like, well, you're not a nigger, and we know this, so we're gonna give you 10 years, but we'll give you really 2 years, and we'll let you off with good behavior. And then she'll go be a cop somewhere else. And if you think this is false and I'm putting out a false narrative, then go look up Darren Wilson. Daniel Pantaleo, it took them 5 years to fire him, and they did not want to do that. They did not want to do that. NYPD is probably the most corrupt police department, along with LAPD, in the entire United States of America. But then you got to go, let's start doing our history. See, this is where I come into doing the history. And I'll keep showing y'all. Y'all want to do history? Let's do history. Let's do history. The burglary. And you know who's on the cover of that? J. Edgar Hoover, who wanted to seek out and destroy the next melanated messiah. If y'all don't believe me, go read the books on J. Edgar Hoover. So, with that being said, the FBI already came out reports that white supremacy has infiltrated law enforcement. So if they've infiltrated law enforcement, then why do you not think that the people that are stopping you every day are a part of the system of white supremacy? Why do you not? Why? This is data that has came out. This is not something that Warren is making up. Go look it up for yourself. See, this is the problem to me. He has a compelling testimony, and then all of a sudden he gets killed. Come on. And let me guess, it's gonna take them all day to find out who the killers are. Then we gonna march, whine, and repeat. Nobody's gonna get to the bottom of it. Everybody's gonna act like they don't know what's going on. You know, same old, the tongue in cheek. You know, then you're gonna have your Republicans, not the Republicans, but the Democrats come out. That's why Ocasio-Cortez Masto, she comes out. Oh, we need to get to the bottom of it. You're not worried about getting to the bottom of it. Because if you were worried about getting to the bottom of it, you wouldn't even put out no Twitter statement. You would go down there yourself. You would use whatever financial influence that you have to get down there and do it. And not even that, you will be getting together other Democratic nominees and people that are in positions of power and be like, hey man, we got to find out what's going on, man. We want the melanated community to trust us, the Democrats. Then let's do the work behind the scenes. And then when we do the work behind the scenes, then we can come to them with some real shit. But they're not going to do the work behind the scenes. You know why? Because doing the work behind the scenes would mean having to put out and call to the floor your own. And that is breaking code. And nobody's going to break that code. And that is a fact. Now they're making it where if you testify, you're going to get killed. And these are the things that I think we got to start paying attention to. You know what I mean? Like, I look at certain things, I just be like, damn, really? So now really, right after the trial, he gets murdered? Man, come on, man. R.I.P. to his family, man. Like, R.I.P. That was a young brother, too. Whole future ahead of him. You know what I mean? And you kill him? Oh, let me guess. It'll be gang ties, or, oh, he robbed somebody, or he stole their weed like they try to do with Mike Brown. You know, and, oh, well, Mike Brown, you know, he was a thug. They couldn't really find nothing on him, so they just framed the picture that, oh, he's black, he's a thug, all these things, so you can justify what Darren Wilson did. And then Darren Wilson did the dog whistle up. Oh, well, it was like Hulk Hogan grabbing a baby. Man, get out of here. Get out of here, man. And that's why those witnesses who saw and witnessed the murder of Mike Brown, they were trying to keep them segregated and keep them away from the situation. Just like Walter Scott. If that person that had that cell phone wouldn't have been recording it, Walter Scott would have just been another dead melanated brother. But you had the police officer on video shooting him in his back. And then putting a weapon right there and planting evidence on him. Y'all think it's just them doing that? Come on, man. We got to think better and more. We got to think outside the box. Stop giving them so much credit. And then, oh, well, there are good police out there and all that, and that's fine. Well, if they are, stand up and call out the crooked ones. You're not going to stand out and do that. Exactly. So now this brother is gone. You know what I mean? They probably wanted to kill him before the trial, but then it really would have looked suspect. So that's why they waited till after the trial. Then he probably already got death threats about testifying. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm almost positive that he did. And he probably testified anyway because he knew if shit was wrong. But what makes it even more kind of strange is both of them, John's family hugging the bride and, oh, I want to, like, that's coon talk to me. That you cooning. I bet you if it was a nigga that killed your son, you wouldn't be trying to hug and make amends with them. That's because we have been trained and socialized and socially engineered to hate each other. See, it's easy to forgive them when you think that they look like Jesus. That's why they got a picture of Cesare Borgia in every damn church everywhere. That's a fact. These are the things that I feel like we got to be looking at. And if we don't look at them, what's going to happen is it's going to we're going to gloss over it. Oh, no. We need to take the time right now and look at this. Why did this brother get killed? Now, what it's going to do is enable more law enforcement to feel like they can get away with blatant murder and nobody will testify on them because they know what might happen and what the consequences might be after. Just like Laquan McDonald and that officer. Now, shouts out to the other officer that straight out told him, was like, nah, bro, he was not a danger to us. He was not a danger to anyone. Why didn't you fire? Because he wasn't a danger. Did you feel like your partner was in danger? No. Did you feel like you were in danger? No. No. And Rahm Emanuel, oh, you remember Rahm Emanuel? That's President Obama's boy. So when y'all got all these posters and pictures and Obama and all this other bullshit, man, let me tell you something about Obama. Obama is for himself and you'll never hear from him again. Matter of fact, we have not heard from him. Exactly. He's taken the money and he's gotten the fuck up out of there. These are the things that you got to start looking at. That's why we got to start reading, knowing your history, knowing what's going on, knowing these things. The average person, in my honest opinion, think that our legacy and destiny and everything is tied to European culture. But if you go get books like The Stolen Legacy, go get these books. It's going to tell you all you need to know about Aristotle and Socrates and Pythagoras and Alexander the Great, aka the Greek. It's going to tell you all you need to know about them and where they learned all their shit from. The Great Mathematician. Yeah, I got that book. I got 4 books that talks about where the great mathematician learned all his mathematics from us. But we don't know that. That's why we praise everybody else but us. And that's exactly why you have situations where you have Joshua Brown. He should have been protected. We should have been protecting him as a community. As a community, somebody should have gathered a group of people and been like, hey, let's make sure he's good, because you already know what he's going up against. And he done told on this police officer. Now she going to jail for at least 5 years. So you know it's going to be some pushback on his behalf. Where's Reverend Al Sharpton at now? And Jesse Jackson. See, that's why I don't like them motherfuckers around. Even when they was around for Eric Gardner, I feel like Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al Sharpton, who has no church, but he's a reverend, I feel like those are the people, the coons, the Sambos, that they place in front of us to quell the people so we don't get out of line. So they're our gatekeepers. That's what they are. That's why they always come around when there's some madness, and they're the person that's supposed to quell the storm and talk on behalf of the family and all this other shit. I wish that Eric Gardner's family would have never even gotten with Al Sharpton, because he's a bullshit motherfucker to me. And he's hustling the system. And I don't like that. And I get it. There's only so much you can do, but once you're going to be out there in public like that, in that magnitude, you got to start calling it out. And you know that these police departments all across the United States have corruption within them, period. Because everybody does not have the moral compass to make the right decision when it comes to melanated people. That's a fact. That's why I always talk about slavery by another name. It takes straight from the antebellum period, and it was so many Caucasians, and this is documented evidence, by the way, that was just like rounding up niggas. Oh, you owe me $1,000. No, I don't. Well, let's go see the magistrate. And then they go see the magistrate, aka the judge, and then the judge will be like, guilty nigga, you got to go work for him for 5 years, free labor, to pay off the loan. And he never even gave me any money. Well, he said you did, and basically, he's white, he say so, you're not, you're a nigger, you gonna go. Read the book, Slavery by Another Name. Go get the book. It's on Amazon. Go get it. So when they want to give all the credit to the Chinamen for building the railroads, please, all the Chinamen did was finish what we started, what we already doing. That's where chain gangs coming from. But it's so funny how they like to give certain props to other races except melanated people in the United States of America. That's why I can always go back to the Egyptian pyramids. But they want to Europeanize the Egyptians and separate it from Africa as a continent, and like, oh no, sorry. Melanated brothers and sisters, go get the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. Go get all these things. No, sorry, not happening. Not happening at all. You better go get some Jordan Maxwell books. I just think a lot of times people today, we feel like, well, let's not give each other props. Let's just give every other race props. That's why you go to Chinatown, Koreatown, Little Havana, Mexican town. Every race has a business, but then when you look at melanated people, we ain't got no business. Go on the West Side. How many times I gotta say it? It's a Panda Express, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell. That's all we have. Yeah, we got a Mario's, but that's owned by a Mexican dude. Yeah, he may have grew up around brothers and sisters, but at the end of the day, we don't know if he's giving that money back to his people. Look at Tekashi 6ix9ine, how he was able to infiltrate hip-hop, globalize himself, or nationalize himself, fetishize and romanticize gangbanging culture, and then flip the script and dry snitch on everybody. And we let them. Because we'll let anybody in our culture as long as they're popping. And while we're letting anybody in our culture, people like Joshua Brown is getting killed for doing the right thing and standing up for his people. That's why it's a whole lot of people that don't stand up for us. That's a part of us. Because they know the consequences of standing up for melanated people. That's why you have to really, really start doing your research. Start reading. You're your own leader. Read. Don't follow. Read. Read yourself. Go read it for yourself. We got to stop taking everybody's word for it and go read yourself. Go read. You know what I mean? Go read. It's not hard. It's very easy to do. You just got to retrain and reprogram your mind, recalibrate who you are and what you want to do, where you want to go. Because reading books, after a while, it does become fun because you're like, damn, I want to read that book, or I want to read this book. And read real history. Don't be reading no bunch of, that's the problem with melanated people too, niggas. Don't be reading no God don't fail me now shit and, ooh, God, I think he cheating on me. Man, stop reading that bullshit and read real books that can empower you. Read history. Know where you come from. Know what's going on. Stop just reading, God, please don't tell me that my man is fucking my sister. Like, don't read no books like that. What's that gonna have? All it's gonna do is make you insecure about your man and be looking at your sister upside her head because you reading a book that's telling you your man is fucking your sister type shit. And fellas, stop reading books about, oh man, I just read this book about this bitch and she said she fucked 10 niggas. Stop doing that. Get books that are going to give you the knowledge and that you need. Knowledge is power, especially when you're on a quest for history. And I'm always learning, as Neely Fuller Jr. teaches us. Hey man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing, checking out the channel. Go read them books, man. Go read Slavery by Another Name. Go read The Stolen Legacy. Read The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Read The Burglary. Read these books, man. These books are books for you to know and you to learn. Not for me. I learn. I just tell people this all the time because I meet people all the time and I see people and they just be like, oh man, you want to come to church? Because my church got the teaching and all this other stuff. And I just be like, I don't argue with them. I just say, yeah, I'm pretty sure it does have teaching, but I'm on my own quest for knowledge. Because that book could, the Bible, King James, that book can only teach me so much, because when you start asking questions about Lilith and Amandadale and Masakine and all these other people that were supposed to be in the original version that they took out and put in, then that's when people feel like you're being combative or you're being oppositional or you're being contrarian to what they believe and what they think. That's why I don't really do the Jesus getting us ready for that great day, that shit. I'm just not into that. And there's no diss because everybody has their own belief system, but you have to gather your own belief system. That's when you've grown. I always say this. Hey, prayer. I got books about prayer and the powers of your subconscious mind and thoughts of things. I got books about that. But, I got books about religion, how it breaks down religion. And it means to bind. So I think we need to be on a quest for knowledge, melanated people. It should always be a question of, hey man, what book am I gonna get next? What thing am I gonna read next? Because a lot of times, man, I read and then I watch certain things. Like, I'm watching The White Princess on Stars. It came out in 2013, but I'm trying to watch a lot of this history shit because I got a book on the Borgias, and I want to learn stuff about because a lot of their stuff ties into, melanated history anyway. That's why you go get these books. That's why it's so funny when you look at people like Conor McGregor and all these people. If you read Ancient and Modern Britons 1 and 2, I've showed them on this podcast a dozen times. Ancient and Modern Britons 1 and 2. It talks about if you have last name is Mac or Mick, MacDouglas, MacDougal, any of those, you are a descendant of a Moor. That's what you are. But these are books that you have to go read for yourself. And you got to understand what you're reading. And take the time out to kind of get it and ingest it and learn and get it. Because some of the books are a little difficult to get into. But once you start thinking like, damn, I didn't even know that. Or damn, now I know that. You're like, oh shit, that's where that shit come from. You know what I mean? Oh, I get that now. That's why this is the way it is. Oh, okay. That's why you have to read those books, because it's going to enlighten you and give you a different perspective. That's what it's about. And what's so sad is Joshua Brown didn't have time to have that perspective. Because after he did the right thing and testified, his life was taken from him. So again, man, my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to his family, but we have to do something as a people to move the movement forward, to accelerate that movement of what Joshua Brown did. Don't let his testimony be in vain. You could tell the dude was caught between a rock and a hard place. He broke down on the stage, and he was sad. It probably did mess with him a lot. You just meet a brother, and then he gets killed. Yeah, that probably fucks with you. And then you watching the person that's pacing back and forth trying to figure out a lie and how she's gonna spin it. That's why those text messages was like, oh, I think I fucked up. But you want to get a judge a hug, get the family a hug, and everybody, all this cooning. We gotta stop that cooning and that samboing. I think I'm gonna make a shirt that says stop cooning and stop being a sambo. For real. It's a lot of sambos out here, man. And doing this shit for the Instagram and attention and all this other stuff. It's like, man, the shit is not real. I would say 99% of the people that's on Instagram, 99 are lying, and they're not telling the truth. On Twitter, are lying, trying to stir up bullshit. See, that's the thing too on Instagram. It's a lot of messiness that goes back and forth. Instead of people gaining knowledge, everybody just wants to watch fighting back and forth. And that's not, it's just not acceptable in our society, because if you look at the Jewish community, they don't function that way. The Hispanic community does not function that way. I'm not saying they don't have quarrels and battles and fights and argue, but they know how to come together for the common good of patronizing each other's business. We don't do that. Soon as it's a nigga, here this nigga go, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm about to go buy me some shoes off the Black Dollar store. They got some dope ass shoes on there. I gotta pay some bills after that. I'm buying some shoes for like $30, $40, man. But I know what it is. You know what's so funny? On the Black Dollar store, they got the same brands as Nike. And it's the same shoe style. Like LeVar Ball said, shoes ain't nothing but stitch and glue. But you put somebody else's name behind it. Not your family name. Somebody else's name behind it. And you glorify it and romanticize it, and you make it a god. You don't even know that. Oh, I know I used to, wearing a Chicago Bulls jersey. And I'm trying to wait to see the next time I'm gonna see somebody in a red, black, and green jersey. Taking pride in that. But we take pride in Louis and Gucci. How about all this Gucci on, baby? We take pride in that. We take pride in being on TV and pretending like we got a whole bunch of money. But we don't take pride in doing the work and building the foundation. And for Joshua Brown to build that own foundation of getting up on that stand and taking the stand against the Fraternal Order of Police and not knowing if his life was going to be in jeopardy, I give that man props, man. Much love, power, and respect to that young brother, man. Think about it. How many of y'all are willing to do that? Most niggas are running high. I don't even know if I do. I'd be scared too. I'd be like, ooh, shit, I don't know. Shit, I got a whole life to live. I don't know if I'm trying to put my shit in jeopardy. Shit, let me call my brothers and sisters and them and see what they say type shit. Nigga be like these. Nigga be on the phone like, ooh, shit. Hey, man, they want me to testify, man. What you think? And my sisters and brothers be like, hell no, nigga, don't do that shit. Because, you know, fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of not knowing what's going to happen to you or your family or putting your family in jeopardy. You know? So it's like, you know, I give him props for taking that stand. Because I feel in my heart, there's gotta be a standard set for the heroic act that Joshua Brown committed by testifying, because he didn't have to do that. And two, let's not delve into, oh, well, you know, was it a mental health issue or this, that? We gotta stop that too. You know what I mean? Because Jean-Jacques Dessalines didn't have no mental health issue, and he grew up real bad. You know what his mental health issue was? Let me see how many Frenchmen I'm gonna put down because they've killed so many Haitians. But that's what we do. Now we're glorifying mental health, and everybody's gotta go see a therapist and all this other stuff. Let me tell you, I'm speaking to my melanated people right now. Half my melanated people ain't got the money to go see no therapist because that costs money. That's why I say that this is European shit, because that costs money. And since 90% of the nation's wealth is held in the hands of Caucasians, and we only own 2.6 of that wealth, where are all these melanated people gonna get the money to go see a therapist? And when are they gonna have the time when they at work? See, that's what I'm saying. No diss to nobody who spits that out, but this is just my stance on it. When you hear people talk about mental health, the majority of them, they're on TV. The majority of them have money to go see a mental health specialist and go see a therapist or a psychologist and all that. Well, good for them. If melanated people start being there for each other, we wouldn't need no goddamn mental health. All we need to do is give a lending ear to listen to what's going on and stop sitting from a standpoint of judgmental mentality, or basically treating your fellow brother or sister, melanated brother or sister, like, oh, well, you shouldn't have been doing this. Sometimes you just got to sit back and be like, yeah, man, I feel you. Because I noticed they pushing this, mental health, because this is the thing I don't like. What comes mental health comes barbiturates, becomes pharmaceuticals. So we gotta, there's a fine line with that mental health shit. And that ain't really our thing. You know, man, we didn't create mental health. Come on, man. There's so much that we've suffered and been, programs and shit that we've been ushered through the last 450 years. So I think it should be less mental health and more mental stability. Mental growth. What about that? And if you want to give somebody mental health, give our colonizers the stigma of maybe they might need some mental health. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because if you think about it like this, how are you going to tell melanated people they need mental health when we own no ships, no cakes, no pies, no boats, no planes, no corporations, no farms? We don't own any of this land. We don't own none of this shit that's going on. So we need the mental health? The dominant society is controlling all this shit. They're the ones who need the mental health. But they got us thinking we need it. And it's their system. Their system has failed us. That's why Joshua Brown is killed. Because their system has failed us once again. Don't put your trust in that system. As the Fall of America teaches us, you go to your politicians and your senators and governors and mayors and you seek refuge in them. They're not going to help you. The Fall of America by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It says it in the very beginning. In the very beginning. Let me turn to the very beginning. He talks about that. And talks about how we put our trust in senators and we put our trust in and all these other people, but they're not going to help you at all. You know, and I often go back and look at these things because it helps me. It helps me to function through the day because it gives me a different perspective. And the perspective is always look at things from a subjective view. Don't look at it from a standpoint of being critical. Look at it and observe it. Ascertain what's going on. Like, really pay attention. Because in the very beginning, it says you are seeking something. You are seeking an answer to your 400-year-old problem of slavery, servitude, and fifth-class citizenship. I am here with a solution to that problem. How good is it then for black brothers of like minds and similar brothers to get together for a spiritual feast? I'm telling you, that's a fact. Most melanated people are searching for something. That's why we so religious and join religions. But you remember, when you join a religion, you're taking on that identity of that religion. It's like joining a gang. You have to defend that religion at all costs. And no religion is perfect. I haven't studied every religion, but I know they all have flaws because the majority of these religions are ran by, well, all of them are ran by men. And with men comes sin, imperfection. Is basically when you're dealing with a man running a religion. So you have to take that into account. That's why when you look at a sheep and a shepherd, sheep are the most dumbest animal out there. That's why they have to be led. So you don't want to be sheeple. You don't want to be commoner. You want to question everything. See, I question everything as a young age. For all you Christians out there, you might get offended, but if you want to follow the Bible forbids you to eat bacon, the pig, the swine. Now, why is it Christians eat more pork chops than any other motherfucker I know? But in that Bible, it says don't eat the swine. Now, the Muslims got that correct. Now, why is it our Christian brothers and sisters eat swine? But we never thought to question that. And find me in the Bible where it says 10% needs to go to tithes. Show me that scripture. I want to see it. See, these are just the things that I would question. Everything. Why do you have to dress a certain way? Because I thought the Bible says come as you are. But see, here's the thing. We're so, like, why are you talking about religion? You know why? Because that's the ultimate distraction. And while we arguing over religious beliefs, Joshua Brown gets killed. And now his family has to bury him. And now they got to remember his last moments on the stand, testifying for another melanated brother whose family is hugging and kissing the murderer. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. Stay on code. Even if that family felt that way. But you know what? Nah, they cooning. For real. That was a lot of cooning. A lot of samboing and a lot of us not being on code and understanding what life is about. These are the things that I think everybody needs to be looking at. Why wouldn't you be paying attention to that? Think about if it was your family and somebody walked into your family's walked into your family's house and sat there and waited for your family to get home, and then they just shot one of your cousins or brothers and sisters. You gonna be like, oh, I forgive him or her. They didn't mean no harm. Man, please. You better be like Eric Gardner's wife. That's why you say, hell no, I don't forgive him. And I don't want your apology. Nah. Because to tell you, if AMBERGUYGER wanted forgiveness and all that, what she would have done was she would have pleaded guilty and she would have asked Your Honor for the maximum sentence. No, she was a cowardly racist who got busted, and I was like, no, but I'm not a nigger. Oh my God, you guys actually found me guilty? Then as I'm watching different interviews from the jurors is feeling bad for it. I'm like, oh my God. You know, these are just the things that you go through and you see, and when I process it, I'm like, Lord Jesus, what's really going on? We really finna feel sorry for somebody who probably was a part of the system of white supremacy and wanted to kill him? That's why they started digging up her old text messages and listening to the things she was saying about black people. And then guess what? Oh, but why did you say this or why did you say that? Like melanated brothers and sisters. When we start talking about the dominant society and white people, go out there and kill a white person and see what they say. Guilty, nigga. Nah. Period. You ain't even have to kill a white person. Go bop a white person upside the head. Guilty, nigga. Man just bopped him upside the head. Yeah, well, you're guilty. Well, he hit me and he stole my car. I don't care, nigger. I don't care if he stole your car. It's not your car anyway. You're a nigger. Well, I bought it cash out the title. I don't care. Your nigger title doesn't mean anything here. That's a nigger title. That's exactly how they feel. And I don't know why people get so uncomfortable. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. Like I say on every podcast, I like my races up front, out in the open. I don't like covert racists like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and the rest of them. You say, well, Bernie Sanders was Killer Mike. Bernie Sanders is parading Killer Mike around with him to get the black vote. Bernie Sanders voted against reparations for melanated people and for reparations for Jewish people. So what does that tell you, melanated brothers and sisters? Bernie Sanders is not your friend. That's probably why he had a heart attack. Too much lying. Come on, man. Don't let these people use melanated people as their shield to corral the commoner, the fickle crowd, the dumb people, the deaf, dumb, and blind. Come up out of that deaf, dumb, and blind shit and be who you are. Question everything. Don't take Warren's word, but go get the books and read them. So you can be like, nah, Warren, really, this meant this right here. Cool with me. I stand corrected. I don't mind being corrected. That shit don't bother me. But I'd rather a person go read the book so they can know what I'm talking about. Because that's the thing. You want to hide knowledge from a melanated person? Put it in the book. We will be on Instagram all day. We'll be on Twitter all day. We even be on YouTube all day, getting our knowledge from YouTube. And I understand that because there's some very knowledgeable things on there. But what I like about the people I follow on YouTube, they always tell me to go get the book. And that's what I like. They always tell me to go, like Brother Hiawafa Kamene. He always says, there's a book that you can go read. It's called, and then he'll tell you, In the Matter of Color or a Peculiar Institution. See, and that's what I like. When a person talks and they back it up with a book, that's what I like. Because it intrigues me and it makes me want to quest for knowledge. Because as Dilly Fuller Jr. teaches you and teaches me, I'm still learning. And you got to quest for knowledge. You got to keep learning. And all white people are not like that. All white people are not a part of the system of white supremacy, by the way. All people are not. And there are some people part of the dominant society that will speak out and speak up and don't play that bullshit. I've been around them and I've met them. I've read about them in the burglary. There were white people that are part of the dominant society that they could have kept those files on J. Edgar Hoover, but they didn't. They publicized them. They put them out there so the public can see exactly who you got in charge of your FBI. And why J. Edgar Hoover is trying to run and get rid of every melanated brother and sister, he's wearing dresses on his spare time. I mean, full-on dresses, in heels, in pearls. So that's why I'm like, wow. And this is who you got that's been in charge of the FBI. And they named the building after him. And he couldn't stand melanated people. Probably because he was melanated himself. As he infiltrated the Black Panthers, infiltrated Fred Hampton's chapter of the Black Panthers and had him shot and killed and used the Chicago Police Department to do it. Facts. These are just things that we got to know. We got to ascertain the knowledge and know there was a reason why Joshua Brown got killed. I'm almost 100% sure that he got threats before he testified. He probably just didn't say shit about it. I'm pretty sure those police officers probably threatened him in their own way. Or was probably being really nice to him. But now he's dead. So let's see what our melanated people gonna do. Or are we gonna talk about LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the Lake Show last night? Because I know that's what everybody talking about. The Lakers. Well, guess what, y'all? The Lakers ain't paying you no money. Jeannie Buss and Associates are making that money. If they only gave LeBron James $140 million, how much do you think Jeannie Buss is making off LeBron James? That's a fact. Oh, and speaking of NBA, it's so funny how Jeannie Buss hired Magic Johnson to run the team. He's got full control. And then Magic Johnson came out and said, I don't have full control. Because why are you making me run everything by them? Because he wanted to let go of sorry-ass Luke Walton, who was a privileged, dominant society boy who was stunk up the joint when he played basketball in the Lakers. He was terrible at Arizona. He wasn't a great basketball player at all, but he had the complexion for the affection and ultimately got the protection from Magic Johnson. And that's why he was able to go leave on his own and not be terminated. So when people in positions of power give you positions of power, you got to understand that it's power negated on the fact that it's not your power. It's power that they gave you and they can take it back at any time. Build your own. You get on these corporate plantations, do your job and go home. Do what's asked of you and go home. Don't get on the job and think that you run the job and you run the situation. No, you don't. You are replaceable. You are a number. Just like those stamps that are on your birth certificate from the banks, because your debt has been sold as soon as you are born and assigned a social security number. So, with that being said, RIP to Joshua Brown. I hope this wakes up our community and we start looking at things differently and we start coming together to fight the known enemy and stop bullshitting each other and fighting and arguing with each other and wasting time and energy and space and coming together and making shit happen. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. This is a No I Don't Know TV series. Nigga, I'm out. Peace.